To begin with, inflation is the worst. So I was shopping at the thrift store. I picked up some notebooks because I always like to have notebooks because I write everything down: thoughts, reminders, story ideas, and I sketch doodles or designs for my stories. So, anyway, I got this notebook, and there was nothing weird about it that I could see, just a normal blank notebook. I didn't use it for a while, but then I had it out during a meeting one time. I always have a notebook during meetings in case I need to write anything down. And this time I was only doodling a little bit. I remember just a few doodles in the margin. And then the meeting was over, and I closed the notebook and put it back into my desk, and I didn't look at it again for a few days. I got it out for another meeting later that week, opened it up, and the page was blank. I did think that was weird at the time, but I was running late, so I took it with me to the meeting anyway. And this time I did more than doodle, actually. I had actual notes from the meeting. And when I got back to my office afterward, I went to type up my notes, which is my habit, and it surprised me how off the lines my writing seemed to be. Sure, I was writing quickly, and I wasn't trying to make my notes pretty or anything, but usually I was cleaner than that, better at staying on the line. It wasn't until the next week that I was going through the notes I'd typed up, and one of my notes didn't make sense, so I got out the notebook to see if I'd mistranscribed something. Imagine my surprise when all that was left on the page was the tail ends of a few lines. All the text had angled towards one of the binder holes, like it had been sucked in. So then, being a scientist, I started doing tests. I made deliberate marks, and I kept a regular track of if they'd moved, which they did, how far and how fast and what direction, always towards that center binder hole, and how long it took for a page to clear completely. Interesting, the lines on the paper never moved, only what I wrote. And it worked with whatever tool I was using: pencil, pen, permanent marker. It even sucked up the bleed through to the back of the page that happens when you use a marker on notebook paper. And I tested every page, and it didn't matter where in the notebook I made a mark. After time, it would be pulled towards and then into that center binder hole. I tried putting something else onto the paper, not writing. Like, I left a pencil there just on the notebook, and I did find that it had turned so that the graphite point was towards the binder hole, but otherwise the pencil didn't move, even after I'd left it there for weeks. I tried other things: a paper clip, a thumbtack, a marble, a potato chip, various other bits and pieces, but the notebook only absorbed writing or drawing. Although, when I put a strong magnet onto the page, the writing did pull around the magnet towards the binder hole as opposed to straight to it, which would have gone under the magnet. So the magnet did exert some influence, which was interesting. I touched my finger to the binder hole when it had already absorbed half a page of writing, and I didn't feel any sensation that would suggest that this binder hole was any different from any other binder hole in any other notebook. I put string and wire and a graphite stick from a mechanical pencil through the hole, and everything went through it just fine from one side of the notebook to the other. I could hold the notebook up and look through the hole, and there was nothing unusual about it. To this day, I've still never figured out just what exactly is going on. But I still do tests, and it is nice to have an infinite notebook, as long as I transfer any writing out of it into a more permanent digital form before it disappears. I do wonder, though, what's on the other side of my tiny notebook black hole. I wonder where all of my writing goes. Is it destroyed, gone forever? Or is it popping up unexpectedly in someone else's notebook somewhere in the world? Maybe I'll write down my name and contact information sometime and see if anyone reaches out, like throwing a message in a bottle into the ocean. Hopefully it will wash up somewhere and someone will find it and let me know. Unless the writing doesn't come out the same way it went in, which would be fascinating too, but I might never find out about it in that case, because then my contact information would probably be indiscernible. Anyway, it just goes to show, you never know what you're going to find at the thrift store.